Namaste. I am Diwakar Channappa. Uh, I come from a village called Begur, which is now part of Bangalore. And history becomes important for anybody's life, and my history also starts from this village called Begur. And Bangalore history also starts from this place. So we have Panchalinga temple in this place, which is 1200 years old temple. And my grandfather used to be at the head of this village, my family, so my grandfather, great grandfather. And we were the first family to shift to Bangalore for English medium education. That was a proud moment for my father, where he wanted to make sure that his all three sons will be double graduates, and which he did accomplish in his objective. For the first time I felt something on education was when I was in 5th grade, where I really wanted to run away from my home, and I did try. So I left home at 6 o'clock in the evening and came back by 8:30, because I didn't know what to do after that. And fortunately my mother knew, because it was a small time and small town in Bangalore, the area which we live. So his son comes back after 8:30, and 2 hours he was not there, but she didn't ask any questions. I still wonder today, why didn't she ask any of those questions which I expected my mother going to ask, and also one or two beatings also for that. But nothing like that happened. Life moved on, and I didn't want to continue my education even after graduation also, which I did express to my parents. But I had no other choice than to continue. So I did my post-graduation also in a sense there. When I got married, and when I had my first daughter in my life, after 3 years of her, and there were some situations in my family which I had to make a choice whether I will stay back in the family or continue the things which I had associated after my education. But I choose to be at home. Why me? I don't know. This question really bothered. Why me who have chosen to be at home? So not for a short time. It was almost like four and a half years. I was at home. This was a very, very important time in my life, of that 4 years and 3 months precisely, which gave me such positive situations, life experience, which naturally came in front of me, and I was part of all those, and it helped me, or it gave me a lot of dimensions of life, how people are, and how each one is responding, and how you are responding to situations, what eases out things, what compromises, what complicates all of that. In all these things which was happening, so my daughter was also growing, and the first time, again the second time of something which related to education happened in this when my wife and my mother asked me, so are you not thinking about you sending your child to school? Because people had already started with 2 years, 2.5 years, they are thinking about where the child will go, which school they will go, what options are you looking. Somehow all these things had not come to my mind. I postponed those discussions for some more time, but fortunately I came in contact with One Straw Revolution, a book written by Musunobu Fukuoka, a Japanese farmer who is considered as father of natural farming in the world. For me, that book, most of them feel it's about agriculture and farming. For me, he has not left any thing in that book which is not connected to life, and every dimension of life that I could relate to was part of that book. It was amazing, and that really helped. I mean, I took 3 days to complete that book, and today I was there in my ancestral land, which is 100 kilometers from Bangalore, and I am going to this land for the first time in my life at 33 years. though it was been our own land from generation, but so this happened. So my connection to soil just began in that time when my daughter was 3 years. So I was there, continued doing what I started. So when this question came on with my daughter, which I was keep postponing, and now she was 4.5. So then this question was very, I couldn't postpone it. My choice was being with soil. My choice was we'll go shift to the farm and live a life, and whatever nature and life would give present, we will take that and move on. A lot of people ask, what is it? Is it not foolishness at what you are doing? But I don't know, somehow deep inside me, and I can't pinpoint why this thought came to me. We say, trust life. There's a saying in Kannada, ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ದೇವರು ಹುಲ್ ಮೇಯಿಸೋದಿಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. When God has given birth and He will take care of us, was one thing which always had been in our conversations in my family. I don't know, was it for this reason, any reason, maybe the design in which we live, somehow inside this trust was there that things will happen for us, what has been there for us. But then I had to compromise on that, and so then we choose my daughter to go to a school. So the request was, even if the government school or any school, let the child go to a school, was a decision. My experience during my graduation, one of my lecturers had told me there's a lot of alternative schools also which is coming. When he had described how these alternative schools were, I was always thinking that why I should have gone at this time. Probably I could have gone through that. But this was there in my mind. When this discussion started in my family, I realized even if it is a compromise, let my daughter go to an alternative school. Reason was not because on a philosophical understanding about alternative philosophies that exist around, or what the school will do it to my child. Nothing of these. I don't really had not seriously thought about it. It doesn't mean that I was reckless or careless about it, but the trust on life was so strong in me. But the rest I will take care and let them do what they would want to do. So then my daughter happened to be part of a school in Bangalore, which is an alternative way which they do. I think that's one place. Destiny was. I think it's destined. I had to go there to that particular school, because I met present team whom I'm part of, Udhbhavaha. There are 7 families, and I met most of them in that process and in that space. So we were just meeting and talking about farming and our life, and somehow doing something which, there were some questions also. Though our daughter was going to alternative school, there were still questions was keep adding to the previous questions. Because there was a feeling in me that the education of a child, it's not outside, it is inside. When I say inside, not just about the inside of his body, but inside a family, in an environment which a child will feel it is her or his. So this question always there, and somebody proposed that why don't we do alternative education with having Indian ethos and thought process and principles. And I could relate to that, and I was part of it. The one most important part was, since I was part of connecting to soil in my thought process already from last 2.5 years before this, how beautiful it when I visualized being with my child and other children and experiencing farming together. So it was also a personal need of me, so I looked at from that end and I said, I think I should be part of it, and the need was also there, and that was also my want. So we came together. But at least over a period of time, what the shift which has happened was, as I said, though we might have started as a school, and I have to tell you that the mukhya of the school. I think people ask me twice, what do you mean by this? They are either surprised or they hear this word which they might have heard sometime back or in their younger days. I think the reason only is when I say I am the mukhya of the school, it is not that I play a role of a headmaster or a principal role. I play the head of the family role. So I take care of the family. So घर का मने यजमान अंತರ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So that is a thought process, and why me is always a question to me also. When I look back, why I'm here, I'm playing this role. It's not that I'm trying to say that I'm small and I'm still want to say that I didn't want to do, but somebody told me to do it. It's not that reason. When people looked at me and they said, I think you will be the best person to do this, and I also realized I can only do it for whatever reason. Some reason was with the background that how I look at life, and my experiences have been in my life with 43 years. So, and it was everybody's choice, and it was also a choice of my personal choice also to play that role, and I continue to play that role also in Udhbhavaha. So what I do, I don't teach. So generally when we look at schools, somebody expects, okay, these are the people around and they are teaching children. Teaching also does happen in some areas, but in my area, I don't teach. I am part of what do you call, in a running environment, a family which is continue to live together, and what things are coming and the discussions, where I'm supposed to take this family, or where their attention has to be drawn, the decisions to be made, the choices that should be made, and all of that, and I'm very happy that I'm this person who can do it also. So farming is not just as a passion, but it's also I look at farming as very important part of my life. For me, farming is not just about growing food. I can tell you, farming is such a place which can give you every experience of life, and I can relate every dimension of life through agriculture. And when children are around, I hope, and that's the possibility that we want to present in front of children, to look at life in this dimension. We talk about sahajata or niralate in Kannada when we talk about it. It's also about the design in which we live will bring those dimensions in front of children. And so already there was an existing environment with me, with my farm in Gauribidnur, and children come there. Not as Diwakar Mama is a teacher there, I'm going there to learn, but they said Diwakar Mama's farm is our farm and wherever we are going to our farm. But this word defines a lot of other meaning to it. It's not just about somebody's farm. When they say it is Diwakar Mama's farm, there is a bhava in which, and we have this, we express ourselves, which the children doesn't call us as madam or uncle or teacher or sir. Generally the way they communicate or express is Anna and Akka. But for some reasons children call me Diwakar Mama. And everybody, whenever any child who approaches me and calls me by this Mama, there's a bhava, it's a beautiful bhava which comes out, and it is not just about somebody is giving or somebody is receiving, or you're the teacher and they're your students. We just feel that they are my children, and they also look forward to their own Mama where they can talk about anything, they can jump into me, or I can scold, as well as all of that happens, because I have three in my life. I have seen 4 or 5 Mamas in my life. Somebody was so strict, somebody was so lenient to me, somebody would have helped me to cross boundaries which my mother and father would have put to me. I could do all of that because of those experiences, and I feel all those 5 Mamas are inside me now, and this is one Mama which is a possibility to these many children. And and this is helping me too. It is not about children, it is also about me, being this environment, and this is a possibility that I feel life is presented to me, and I am taking full advantage of it, and with my children as well as with others.